is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1.
Yeah!
Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Brevet.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories: airports, foreign words and phrases, Meet the Robinsons, I Resign, What Planet Are You From, and literary geography. Where do we begin, Player 1? Before a trip, it's proper to wish someone bon this, whether they're traveling by ship or not. Yes, Player 1? You got it. Select again. In many places of business, no zapatos, no service. Zapatos being Spanish for these. Okay, Player 1? Right you are. Select again. Italian for to the tooth. It's how to order your pasta if you want it a little firm. Here's what we wanted. Al dente. Please pick again, Player 1. Seize the day, I tell you, but do it with this Latin phrase. Okay, Player 1. Right you are. We return to you, Player 1. Here's Jimmy to start us off.
Locomotives with a 282 wheel configuration are called this type, an old name for the Emperor of Japan.
Okay, Player 2. Right. Player 2, where do we start? In Chapter 8 of this novel, Atlanta is very exhilarating and temporarily even better than Tara. Here's the response we were looking for. Gone with the Wind. Player 2, pick again. In the preface to the Moonstone, Vishnu commands 3 Brahmins in this country to guard the title gem night and day. The correct response is India. Select again. In Pride and Prejudice, Mrs. Bennet says, "The country is a vast deal pleasanter than this city." Here's the response we were looking for. London. Please pick again, Player 2. Here's Sarah.
Hemingway's vivid description of Pamplona's San Fermin Festival in this 1926 novel helped make the running of the bulls a world-famous event.
The correct response is The Sun Also Rises. Please pick again, Player 2. It's the first river mentioned in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Here's the correct response. The Hudson. Please pick again, player 2. It has seasonal weather patterns and iron-rich minerals in the soil, giving it a distinct red color. Yes, player 1? Nope. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Let's hear it, player 3. That's correct. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? Greater in mass than all the other planets combined, it's surrounded by dozens of moons. Yes, player 3? That's right. Way to go. Player 3, you pick again, please. It's the smallest and densest of the outer gas giants and has an appropriate name, as it has a watery interior. It's player 2. Right. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as we come. Answer, it's the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Player 2, please select your wager. All right, here's your clue. Its mean distance from the sun is only about 36 million miles. Second place now, player 2. Here's what we were looking for. Mercury. We return to you, player 2. Denver International has North America's longest commercial one of these, 3 miles long. Let's hear it, player 1. Yeah. You are correct. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. Bands of debris and ice surround it, as do its satellites, including Titan. Here's the correct response. Saturn. Please pick again, player 1. At St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport in this state, a plaque marks the 1914 sale of the first air travel ticket. It's player 2. Yes. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has control. This mayor presided over the construction of New York City's first municipal airport. Here's what we wanted. Fiorello LaGuardia. Select again. A company called BAA operates Southampton, Stansted, and Glasgow, but this is its busiest airport. Okay, player 1. Sorry, that's incorrect. Anyone else? Here's the correct response. Heathrow. You get to pick again, player 2. At this European city's airport, you can have a sandwich and, of course, a coffee at the Café Karenblixen. Player 2. Good. Player 2, choose again. In 1947, he shattered baseball's color line. Player 1? Yeah. That's right. Way to go. Player 1, start us. Like a famous mister of song, It was the nickname of tap dancer Bill Robinson. Here's the response we were looking for. Bojangles. Player 1, back to you for our... This Motown legend co-wrote My Girl and Tears of a Clown. It's Player 1. Right. Player 1, you pick again, please. In 1951, he defeated Jake LaMotta to become middleweight boxing champ. Here's what we wanted. Sugar Ray Robinson. You again, Player 1. Emmanuel Goldenberg was the real name of the Robinson who used this first name on the stage. Okay, Player 3. You are correct. Player 3, you start us off. His August 8, 1974 speech began, "Good evening. This is the 37th time I have spoken to you from this office. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's correct. Player 1, make a selection, please. In 1996, after 20 years managing the Dodgers, this man resigned. We're talking about Tommy Lasorda. Player 1, you pick again, please. In 1869, he resigned his Western Union operator's job to devote more time to his inventions. Okay, Player 2. No, that's not right. Any other takers? Yes, Player 3? No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Okay, Player 1? That is correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. This Chief Justice resigned in 1986 to chair the Commission on the Bicentennial of the U.S. Constitution. Here's what we were looking for. Warren Burger. And the last clue for $1,000. You may know the name of this woman who left NASA in 1993 to go into the business of advanced technologies. The correct response is Mae Jemison. Player 3 is in third place and will select first in the Double Jeopardy round, as we always do, right after this break. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. The Old Testament. 18th century America. Gems and jewelry. What a TV character. Food words and phrases. And D in science. Player 3, you start us off. It's the more common name for solid CO2. It's Player 1. Oh, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's what we were looking for. Dry ice. Dumbbell front raises strengthen and tone these large muscles that cover the shoulder. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Player one, you start. Well, golly, he left his job and home in Mayberry to join the Marine Corps. It's player one. Nope. Oh. Any other takers? Okay, player three. No, that's not right. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player two. Right. Okay, let's get back into this. Player two, you make the next selection as we... On the Addams Family, he was married to Morticia. It's player one. Yep. Woo! Player one, you start. Pavel was the first name of this Star Trek character, played by Walter Koenig. It's player two. Good. Player two, you start. During a dream sequence, it was revealed that this Richard Dean Anderson character had the first name Angus. The correct response is MacGyver. Please pick again, player two. Hardcore fans of Gilligan's Island know that this character's real name is Roy Hinckley. It's player three. No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? It's player one. Right. Where do we begin, player one? Someone suddenly saying flattering things to you may just be doing this, like you'd do to bread. Okay, player one. Yes. Player one. Pick again. This condiment's name once meant the genuine article, so to cut it meant to be good enough. Player one. You got it. Player one, you pick again, please. When a baseball player barely makes a catch, the way the ball and the glove look is known as this sweet treat. The correct response is an ice cream cone. Player one, pick again. It's something added, perhaps piped on, to make a good thing even better. Here's the correct response. Frosting. Select again. Answer, the first of the daily doubles. And you have the lead. So, what's your wager? And the daily double clue. A woman's sleeve that's full at the top and gathered at the wrist is called leg of this. However, you keep your lead. Here's what we wanted. Mutton. You again, player one. Ah, well, it's the area of light winds and calms in equatorial regions. How depressing. Yes, player 3? No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player 1? Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 2. That's it. Player 2, you start. With a diameter averaging about 7 miles, it's the smaller of Mars's 2 moons. Here's what we wanted. Deimos. Player 2, back to you for our next selection. A chemical engineering book named for this process is subtitled Mass Transfer in Fluid Systems. Here's the response we were looking for. Diffusion. You get to pick again, player 2. While fleeing the destruction of Sodom, Lot's wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of this. Yes, player 1? Correct. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. Many people believe Ramses was the pharaoh to whom Moses said, "Let my people go," in this book of the Bible. Let's hear it, player 1. That's right. Way to go. We return to you, player 1. David gave this son and successor advice and plans for building the temple in Jerusalem. We're talking about Solomon. You again, player 1. When this man's brothers said that he was still alive, his father Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. Here's the response we were looking for. Joseph. Select again. This heroine, for whom a Bible book is named, was married to King Ahasuerus of Persia. Yes, player 2. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? It's player 1. Sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else? Let's hear it, player 3. Right. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 3, you make the next selection as legacy rings inspired by the Edwardian era are exclusive to this preeminent Fifth Avenue jeweler. Yes, player 1? Correct. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 1? Miss Tamblin knows that lots of jewelry is made from this brownish-yellow fossil resin. The correct response is amber. Player 1, you pick again. In 1974, the newly discovered gem Tsavorite got its name derived from this continent's Tsavo National Park. Here's the response we were looking for. Africa. You get to pick again, player one. Here's Jimmy. He'll show you.
Headdresses of silver or white beads are common among the Aka, a tribe indigenous to the southeast part of this continent.
Here's the correct response. Asia. Player one, you pick again. The name of this romantic ring comes from an old Irish fishing village that's now part of Galway. Let's hear it, player three. That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? The correct response is a claddagh. Please pick again, player one. Born in 1752, she was trained as an upholsterer and could make and repair curtains, bed covers, rugs, and even umbrellas. Let's hear it, player two. Sorry. Any other takers? Player one? That's correct. Select again. Here's Kelly from our Clue Crew with the clue.
After leaving the presidency in 1797, George Washington retired to this Virginia estate.
Yes, player one? Good. Player one, back to... In April of 1777, Congress made this pamphleteer secretary to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. The correct response is Thomas Paine. You again, player one. Samuel Slater settled in Rhode Island and built America's first successful cotton spinning machines driven by this power. We're talking about water power. And the $2,000 clue? Answer. The other daily double. And you're in the lead now. You need to select your wager. Answer this. From May to November of 1763, Chief Pontiac tried to drive the British from this city, now the biggest in its state. Congratulations, you're still in first, player one. Only two of you will be going on to Final Jeopardy. Sorry, player three. We're back. The category for Final Jeopardy today is military men. You need to select your wager. Let's see what it is. Here's the clue. Books about this American are subtitled Warrior as Wordsmith and The Far Eastern General. Let's see your response. How much do you add to your total with that correct response? And your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? This makes you our new champion, Player One, so congratulations. Thanks for playing, everybody. See you next time.